Hi, everybody. We're here with Frankie Greco, who's our artist in residence for Black History Month and the first part of phase 2 of the Art Kids, generously sponsored by the Port of Long Beach and the Arts Council and all our other funders here. So take it away, Frankie.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Arts Council of Long Beach and Port of Long Beach for making this possible. And I'm just going to show you a little bit about my process on how I create these mosaics and how I create art just in general. This is my old board I've had. It's all reliable. It's like a piece of work in itself. I'll be sharing my work on this old board. First thing I always do is I put on music in respect to intellectual property of artists that are creating the music. We're not going to use that today. However, we encourage you all to check out the playlist that we're going to leave with you, so you can use that as inspiration for your work. And so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to begin to paint with my watercolor. By the nature of watercolor, you have to use water to activate the color. So I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to dip it in my water cup here. Now I have 2 cups of water, and I'm doing that because I'm going to separate the warmer colors from the cooler colors. Now, when I say warm colors, I'm talking about yellows, oranges, reds. If I say cooler colors, I'm talking about blues, greens, maybe purple, stuff like that. And when I say warm colors, I would use the example of like the sun or light. When I say cool colors, I'm going to use the example of ice or water. If you can imagine those types of things as you're using the paint, then it'll kind of help you maybe keep that straight as you're creating. And so what I'm going to also do is I'm going to start with a warm yellow, and I'm going to make somewhat of a gradation. And when I say gradation, what I'm doing is I'm using value with the color. And what value means is you can use the example of like shadow or fade or something like that. And they may be gradual. And also by the nature of color, it's relative. So what I mean by that is it's relative to what you paint next to it, what color you're using next to it, and also the light that's being shined on it. So those things take factor in the colors that you see. And so I'm going to paint a little yellow, orange. I'm going to put that next to there. And that really stands out. Take a little red and orange. I do that there. And some of them are going to be real slight, and you won't notice them until the paint dries. I'm going to take a little red. Paint some red there, right next to it.
So you're just experimenting and playing with the colors that feel good, right?
Absolutely. And that's what it is, really. It's all experimentation. If you take the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, you can actually use those colors to create every color, like a red. I'll just put that there. And maybe a brown. And that almost creates like a dark brown. Now, if I add blue to it, it kind of, well, that's like almost like black.
So this is what we're hoping everyone who has the art kits does, is just find what colors excite them, play around, take their time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I don't worry about the drifts. I love being messy when I paint. Some artists are super neat. Me, on the other hand, that's part of my whole process of just kind of making a mess. And I'm going to show you my art kit here. And as you can see, I've done a pretty good job of mixing them all up. At the end of the day, the watercolor will dry, and then you can just apply water to it again and activate it again when you're done. I'm going to put little green and blue together. And that makes kind of a bluish green, but I'm going to try to lighten it up a little bit. It's going to look maybe a little more blue. It'll be like more of a teal.
So fun to play with colors.
Yes. And I think teal might be my go-to. For some reason, I always end up using a lot of that color. And so you'll also see, like as you're playing with the colors, that you can use the same two colors together, and depending on how much of a quantity of each color you use, it creates another new color.
Like darker or lighter?
Right, like darker or lighter, exactly. Or even more
saturated,
right, of a certain color.
And so ultimately, Frankie, these gradations of colors is what you're going to use for your tiles or your tessera for your mosaic of gratitude, courage, and love.
That's exactly right. We're going to use these as I'm done, and then the next step is going to be, creating the design you want to make and cutting it out. I'm just going to even play with where I paint. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't do something like this with brown and purple and just go like this.
Signature marks.
You have to break it up somehow sometimes. And so, yeah, I'm just going to continue to paint. I'm going to use this green and yellow. Oh, that's kind of fun. Make like a lime type color. Okay, so this is what I'm going to continue to do throughout the whole paper. You can do more than one paper. You can do multiple papers. You can do less. Whatever you think you need.
I love watching it drip.
Yeah, the drip. I embrace the drips. They just kind of create their own little...
It changes everything.
Yeah, they sure do. The spontaneousness of the drips in itself. All right, we're wrapping it up here with taking a little yellow and orange.
Okay.
And that creates kind of like that interesting color with the green and on top of the green there. What I use, yellow and orange, and it almost looks like color that you would see out on a, like a leaf in the, in the fall or something.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
That's this section of creating these mosaics. And so the next step we're going to do is draw out a design. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put up a new piece of paper here, and I'm going to tape a piece of paper right here. And I'm just going to draw something really simple. Let's draw a bottle. So I'm just going to use a pencil that's in the kit. This is just a number 2 pencil. And the numbers of pencils are used to, to show like a harder lead or softer lead. A softer lead will make more of a darker color. A harder lead will make more of a softer color with using less pressure on your hand as you're drawing the picture. So I'm just going to make like a little bottle. And what I'm doing with that is I'm going to use that as the design. I'm going to cut these tesserae. So I'm going to take this piece off here, and I'm just going to start cutting with the scissors that are given in the kit. I'm going to start cutting little pieces of paint gradation that I made. And so here's the first one. And I'm going to use the glue that's with the kit, and I'm just going to start sticking away here. And so there's my first piece of the mosaic there. And I'm going to cut out another little piece. And it can be any piece you guys want. It can be any design you guys want.
In mosaic, we like to say that the pieces are close but not touching.
And I'm going to use that technique today as I'm sticking. So I'm going to put a little bit of space in between that one and the other one that I used.
Right. So typically with ceramics or with glass or other materials, we would grout these. And so the space in between is like the negative space and the grout lines. If we were to cover them all over each other and overlap, we'd be doing the artwork that we call frequent collage. The mosaic is spaced differently.
When Betty speaks on negative space, what she's referring to is all the space that's not in the main picture. So I mean, it's all part of the picture,
Yes.
but it's not the focus of the picture. So that would be the negative space in any kind of piece of work. And so this is what I'm going to do throughout the whole bottle.
In terms of our theme, is the bottle like symbolizing celebration or a full cup, or how does that come along with gratitude, courage, and love?
The bottle is always half full, so it's going to be positive. We're going to keep it positive.
Yeah, and you guys can look online or on your kits and see Frankie's designs of a lion for courage. We did a microphone for courage, for speaking out, and there's some hearts and a fist, right?
Yeah,
a powerful fist. And what was the other one?
It was a tree.
A tree, right? Tree.
But I think that's more celebration, you know.
Right. Grateful for nature.
Uh-huh.
You know, whatever the theme inspires you to do, that's what we'd like you to make your mosaics of. Anything that has to do with gratitude, courage, and love. And we're very excited to see what y'all make. Take a picture of it, hashtag us, post them, and be part of our virtual exhibit.
I'm really excited for this project, and I'm really grateful in my own regard to be able to share this with you. I can't wait to see what you guys create and to send back to us. Please hashtag Long Beach Arts Council. We'll see what you guys create.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Frankie.
Thank you, Betty.